controversial encounter, no doubt, after the UP police invited certain local journalists to come and film the entire encounter. As you can see the visuals on your screen, there was just before the encounter took place, the family is now claiming that this was entirely a cooked up encounter, a staged encounter, and that they demand a probe and answers and accountability from the state government. We have Ghanshyam Tiwari joining us on the phone line. Mr. Tiwari, the UP police has been under the scanner for the number of encounters that have happened in the state over the past few months. This certainly not adding to the list, and they don't come out shining in glory when you have the journalists, local journalists who are invited to watch.
Well, this is the first instance where police is turning like a mafia and hunting people and inviting others, especially journalists, to turn it into a spectacle. This is a case where as media explores more, we will find out that everything about this is going to be fake. The Indian Express has already reported 41 deaths of the 66 that have happened so far, out of which 21 FIRs were not given to the FIR copies were not given to the family. Every media agency has done its bit to expose the fault line in the encounter raj of Uttar Pradesh. The police had to, every time a police version is questioned, they had to go out and seek forgiveness like it happened in Hapur. This is a similar case. When you look at these videos, you will find pot-bellied policemen firing in air and saying that this is an encounter, this is our bravado. There cannot be more cowardly act than this, that you are creating a spectacle of killing human beings.
Right, Mr. Tiwari, stay with us. We also have A.L. Banerjee, who is a former D.G.P of Uttar Pradesh, joining us. So do you really think this is the norm in Uttar Pradesh now? It's not something that you see where journalists are tipped off of an encounter and are taken along to film the entire process. Right, we seem to have lost Mr. Banerjee there. We'll come back to him. But Mr. Tiwari, if you're still on the phone line with us, this is of course a huge political issue. Now, BJP, Congress, Samajwadi Party, whatever, we've seen this issue of alleged fake encounters dogging repeated governments in Uttar Pradesh.
No, we have not. See, this is a very, very dangerous situation where Chief Minister gives a headline, "Ki thok denge." It allows BJP to create headline after headline and to say, to cover themselves in public glory that, look, criminals are now afraid to come out of jail. Wherein the reality is the family is crying. People who are picked up and encountered are often from poor sections, involved often in petty crimes or no proven crimes, picked up by the police before the encounter and then suddenly encountered. The cases have been lodged against family members who oppose, for example, a 70-year-old man whose son was encountered. A case of gang rape was put up, and then there are cases where police have fired for promotions. They have threatened. They have sought money to put somebody on the encounter list, put somebody off the encounter list. The completely unaccountable chief minister is turning the entire police system into a mafia raj.
Tiwari, stay with us. We have Anila Singh of the BJP joining us. You heard Mr. Tiwari there making a series of allegations against the Uttar Pradesh state government. Anila Singh, do you think there is any justification for the UP police really taking journalists along with them to film an encounter?
I'll tell you two things. To start with, just now I heard what Mr. Tiwari said. I am not at all surprised because in their tenure, Samajwadi Party government and the criminals, they worked hand in hand. So definitely when now hardcore criminals are being gunned down, but are having a huge problem. The way he is defending the criminals living in Uttar Pradesh. UP government, and especially if I talk about the UP police, they have come very hard on these criminals. Either they are running away from our state, or they are getting their lives sorted out, or they are being sorted out by the police. And our gallant police force is working very hard. And if we talk about the Aligarh encounter incident, which is being so much highlighted in the media, I can only say that I'm not supporting here, but legally they did not do anything wrong, and this was a decision taken by the local police officials. And it could be because the opposition parties like Samajwadi Party and few of the media, they have put so much of pressure on these police officials that these encounters are fake. though they have been putting their lives in danger when they go for the encounters. And but definitely, I can only say that this was their own local decision to invite the local journalists, and this could have been the right step from their point of view, so that even they can see the encounters are not faked, the encounters are real, and two hardcore criminals were killed in that encounter as well.
Anila
But
Singh,
it
you're
was
calling them
little risky.
hardcore. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're calling them hardcore criminals here, but isn't guilt something that is to be established in a court and not really by the barrel of the gun here? And this is something, this is not an isolated incident. You've seen time and time again, there have been over 40 encounters, and the modus operandi in each of them, the FIRs filed, each of them follow a similar pattern.
Madam, it is not like that. If I talk about who killed in Aligarh and even the other criminals who were killed during encounters, they are hardcore criminals. They are history cheaters. They have killed people. They have kidnapped people. The amount of words I can use for them for their criminal history will be less in this phono session which I'm giving you right now on your channel. But at the same time, I can say this, that perhaps journalists should have been invited, because in that way, even their lives could have been in peril. But if we start putting guns on the head of police, that why did you invite them, and you are absolutely a hopeless police, you are a corrupt police, I think it is not going to do any justice to the police force in our state.
Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, you're listening to Anila Singh. Do you buy this argument really that the cops have been taken, the cops took along the media just so that there is proof and then nobody can raise a question later over the veracity of this encounter?
This is argument of unaccountability. So it was police that had to seek forgiveness publicly on their false version of the story in Hapur. It was police and this government that was exposed, as media exposed the reality of lynching and how the state buckled to support those who or help those who actually lynch people and carry the bravado of lynching people. And similarly, in fake encounters or in encounters, we have seen police bragging about putting somebody on the encounter list, demanding money to put somebody off the encounter list, firing at somebody to seek promotion. There are enough cases, and these are cases not exposed by political parties. These are cases exposed by media across board. There cannot be a justification of a pot-bellied person, a dozen pot-bellied policemen firing in air in front of media, trying to hunt two people and saying this is our new bravado, this is the way we protect law and order in UP. Every time they have used headline management as a way of policy, for example, anti-Romeo squad, people of Uttar Pradesh have suffered. If they create a trigger-happy cop who believes in a mafia raj, it will have long-term ramifications on crime. And in the last 1.5 years, crime in every statistic has risen in Uttar Pradesh. And it is as Chief Minister, he has no moral accountability because he himself is getting questioned by the Supreme Court on his own status of a criminal case.
Right, Mr. Tiwari, stay with us. We also have A.L. Banerjee, the former D.G.P of Uttar Pradesh, joining us. Mr. Banerjee, you've heard these arguments being made here. The UP police are under the scanner and their conduct, not just in this case, but in the past, many encounters are being questioned.
You see, this is not the first time that an encounter has been filmed. There was another film from probably the district of Amroha or Muradabad where they showed where the media went along with the police and they showed some kind of a firing taking place in a sugarcane field. Now, this particular incident, you see, an encounter can never be planned. An encounter, or for that matter, when you suddenly encounter criminals who fire at you and then you fire back, and the result could be anything, is a one-off thing. It's a sudden thing. You cannot carry the media there. This is hilarious. This is absolutely the most stupid act I have ever heard or come across. That you carry the media, particularly the visual media, and you show the cops or other whoever are there firing in the air, as somebody just said. It's not done. And moreover, as I've been following the arguments, I found that somebody said that there are 21 FIRs, 21 cases, 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 which have been investigated by the media, probably the Indian Express, which says that all of them are of a similar nature. Now, how come in most of these encounters, the injuries to the policemen are scratches, mere scratches, either on the legs or the hands? And when you talk in terms of a very, very hardened criminal who is kidnapping, who is shooting, who is murdering, he can't shoot straight when he's being shot at. Or rather, it is, the fact is that the criminal first shoots and then you shoot back at him. So this is just not on. This is a very, very peculiar kind of a thing that is taking place. That's number one. Number two, if somebody believes that that encounters improve the law and order, in which case the law and order of Jammu Kashmir would have improved long back. Chhattisgarh would have improved long back. All those left-wing areas where encounters take place on a fairly regular basis, where they are not mostly questioned, could have could have become a very good law and order states. They are not. Number three, you see, in every case of an encounter, the Supreme Court and the NHRC have very clearly laid down guidelines as what is to be done. I don't know whether those things are being followed or not.
Right.
Because subsequently what is going to happen is that in one or two such cases, when they are being taken up by the courts, some of these cops are unfortunately going to be punished. And not unfortunately, they are going to be punished because of the kind of...
Right, we seem to have some audio issues there with Mr. Banerjee. Of course, Anila Singh, Ghanshyam Tiwari, thank you for joining us. We'll keep bringing you updates on the story. I'm sure the political row will not die down anytime soon.